Noah Lyles has always carried the hunger to excel, chasing greatness on the track with unshakable belief. Yet, despite that fire, the sprint double continues to elude him. At the World Athletics Championships, he settled for bronze in the 100-meter and later took to X, writing, "I got nothing but the joy of the Lord in my heart. It has been a very challenging year. Being able to give my all on the race that meant the most is all I can ask for." Lyles seemed destined to etch his name among the greats in the 200m, which he did. Yet, the coveted list of sprinters who have conquered both arenas eludes him. Noah Lyles owns the year's best 200m time, a world title in the event, and even added a 100-meter medal with a seasonal best of 9.90s, ranking 12th globally. Yet, despite the accolades, he fell short of making the exclusive list of men with top 10 marks in both sprints for 2025. In the end, Kenny Bednarek edged him out in that race for dual event dominance. The coveted list includes 4 names. Kenny Bednarek set the pace in 2025 with a 9.79 PB in the 100m and a 19.58 silver in the 200 meter. Jamaica's Brian Lavelle followed closely, clocking 9.82 in the 100m and a 19.64 PB for bronze in the 200 meter. Rising U.S. sprinter Macklin clocked a 9.8383 PB and 19.73 PB, while Courtney Lindsay matched the 9.82 in the 100m and added a 19.82 in the 200m. Since 2024, Noah Lyles has been on a mission to rule both sprints, winning 100-meter gold, but settling for 200-meter bronze at the Paris Olympics. This year, however, the tables turned. An untimely injury derailed his double dash dominance. The 200-meter world champion suffered from an inflamed tendon which caused him to lose several weeks of training in April. This setback led him to start his outdoor season later than usual. Lyles described the season as one of his toughest, pointing to a limited race schedule and the hurdles of injury. At last year's World Championships in Budapest, he had soared to gold in both the 100m and 200m. Yet this year's challenges left him with bronze in the 100-meter. Reflecting on his approach, Coach Lance Brown said, "I train my athletes for the 100 meters and 200m," highlighting the relentless mentality Lyles brings to every competition. This year, Noah Lyles may have collected his medals, but when it comes to shattering personal bests and staking a claim as the fastest man on earth, Kenny Bednarek and Jamaica's Kishane Thompson have stolen the spotlight. While this season may have humbled Lyles, it has only fueled his fire. He's now gunning to surpass the greatest of all time, Usain Bolt. Noah Lyles is looking to move past Usain Bolt's record. Recently, when asked about the record-breaking performances by the newer generation, Usain Bolt had quite a rough assessment on them, and it was quite a dig at Noah Lyles as well. They're running faster and faster times with the new shoes. I'm just saying you can't run faster with brand new spikes. We're just way more talented men, said Usain Bolt in his conversation with the Times. Bolt believes the newer generation might be faster, but their legacy won't be as strong as that of the older generation, though Lyles would beg to differ. While Having a conversation with Speakeasy. Noah Lyles didn't shy away from bold comparisons. When asked if he sees himself as a better 200m runner than Usain Bolt, he said, "I'd say I'm a more consistent runner. My consistency at running fast times is a lot higher, but at the same time, you're saying as he got to the second half of his career, he didn't run as many 200s or 100s. No, Lyles stressed that at this point in his career, he's logging more 200m races than Bolt ever did, highlighting his relentless drive and durability. Well, that's not all. He's also eyeing Usain Bolt's record time. In an interview with La Gazzetta dello Sport, the 200-meter world champion said, "Next season will be a season without any major global events, without any major stress. It's natural for me to look beyond that, but in reality, I have a more immediate goal. I still have to talk to Coach B. Lance Broman about it. But I'd like to create the right opportunity to go after Bolt's 19.19 world record." With his eyes firmly set on Usain Bolt, the athlete aims to shatter records and forge an untouchable legacy. But can he truly overcome Bolt's dominance? The Tokyo World Championships had only just concluded, but the aftershocks were still rippling across the world of athletics. While Noah Lyles left the championships with another gold medal to his name, the headlines after Tokyo were not about his victory lap. They were about his absence from yet another marquee track list. And in that space of omission, one rival found his opening, Kenny Bednarek. A changing of shadows. For years, Bednarek lived in the shadow of Noah Lyles. The charismatic, outspoken world champion drew much of the spotlight with his interviews, celebrations, and constant declarations of sprinting greatness. Bednarek, by contrast, was quieter, almost stoic, letting his legs do the talking. And yet, as Tokyo reminded the world, the margin between the two men was narrowing. In the 200-meter final, Lyles' closing speed once again delivered him the gold, but Bednarek silver was no consolation prize. He ran a technically brilliant race with a clean bend and a drive that had Lyles sweating until the last 30m. When they crossed the line, just a fraction separated them. And when the dust settled, Bednarek's name began popping up more prominently on upcoming meet rosters, while Lyles' name was conspicuously missing from several high event, as fans call it, is the calendar of Diamond League and Elite Invitational meets where sprinting stars gather. For an athlete of Lyles' stature to be absent once might be strategic, twice might be rest, but another omission after Tokyo sparked questions. Was it intentional, political, or simply fatigue? Rumors swirled. Some suggested Lyles was protecting his body after a grueling championship season. Others believed organizers were hesitant to invite him due to his outspoken commentary about the sport needing more recognition. Still, a vocal segment of fans whispered about tension between Lyles and track governing bodies, hinting at behind-the-scenes conflicts. Whatever the reason, the reality was clear. Noah Lyles would not be present at several key races where fans expected to see him, and into that vacuum stepped Kenny Bednarek. Bednarek's rise. For This was opportunity. While Lyles' absence frustrated fans, it allowed Bednarek to headline races as the main American star, a chance he had long craved. His Tokyo silver wasn't just proof of his speed. It was a calling card. He began fielding invitations from Meetat organizers eager to showcase him as the man who could rival and perhaps dethrone Lyles. Bednarek embraced it with quiet determination. "I don't need the show," he told reporters. "I just need the lane. Every time I step on the track, I'm going to prove I belong." The phrase resonated. It painted Bednarek not as the flashy entertainer, but as the relentless worker, the man whose hunger for gold remained sharp after every silver. And as Lyles' absence grew louder, Bednarek's presence grew stronger. Victories in Zurich, Brussels, and Nairobi turned his name from the silverman into the threat. Fans and frustration. The dynamic between the two sprinters began to shift. Fans debated fiercely on social media. Why is Noah missing again? Is he ducking competition? Bednarek's out here putting in the work while Noah's talking. I respect Kenny more right now. We need both of them racing together. That's how rivalries grow. For some, Lyles' omission was disappointing. For others, it was an opening to embrace a new favorite. The more Bednarek raced, the more he chipped away at Lee's hold on the sprinting spotlight. Lyles responds. Noah Lyles, never one to stay silent, eventually addressed the situation. In an Instagram live session, he spoke candidly about the omissions. "Look, I'm not hiding," he said, leaning forward, with his gold medal hanging in the background. "I've proven myself on the biggest stage. If my name's not on a list, it's not because I can't run. It's because I'm planning long term. I want to be at my best when it matters most." He also sent a subtle warning to rivals. Don't mistake absence for weakness. The next time I line up, I'll remind everyone who I am. Until then, let Kenny do his thing. It's good for the sport. It was classic Lyles. Confident, defiant, unwilling to let the narrative escape his control. Bednarek's quiet counter. But while Lyles spoke, Bednarek kept running. And each race he finished added weight to his growing argument. Consistency matters. While Lyles was absent, Bednarek was present. While Lyles was explaining, Bednarek was executing. When asked about Lyles' comments, Bednarek's response was measured. Noah's a great champion, but I'm not focused on his schedule. I'm focused on mine. I don't need words. I need wins. It was the kind of answer that painted him as the foil to Lyles' flamboyance. The silent grinder versus the loud visionary. Two sides of the same coin locked in a rivalry that was only intensifying. A shift in perception. As the season wore on, a shift became undeniable. Bednarek was no longer viewed as Lyles' understudy. He was now the co-star in sprinting's biggest storyline. Some journalists even suggested that Bednarek, not Lyles, had become the face of American sprinting in terms of reliability. And yet, the drama only fueled anticipation. If Bednarek was gaining ground while Lyles was omitted, what would happen the next time they lined up side by side toward the future? By the time the season wrapped, one truth had crystallized. The rivalry was alive and evolving. Lyles, with his charisma and bold proclamations, remained the sport's lightning rod. Bednarek, with his relentless pursuit and steady rise, had become the storm cloud gathering in the distance. The omissions that once cast doubt on Lyles had paradoxically elevated Bednarek, and in doing so they had set the stage for an even bigger showdown to come, because for all the talk, all the speculation, and all the headlines, there was only one way to settle it on the track. Only time will tell. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share.